Hey there, Monica and Bryan here.
Hello.
Hello, USANA United. And welcome to Finish Strong Friday.
Ready to finish strong?
I'm ready to finish strong.
Born ready to finish strong every Friday.
All right, let me put that aside. And I can't really see who's coming up on there, but hello.
Hello.
Whoever's joined us, glad you can be here with us. So today, let me see. Oh, it's Nathan. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Peter. Let's see who else is coming up. Jude's gaming chair is bothering me down there.
I love Peter's post not too long ago. It was awesome.
From
Howdy. How's it going?
Ola from Arkansas. Oh, and I will text you later on today, Audie, about getting with you next week. And he says, I know you both are ready to finish strong.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Bryan and I are very passionate about sharing our story and where, from our humble beginnings and how we got started in USANA. And we've gone through a lot of challenges in the business. And I speak for myself when I say this. I know for me, it has not always been easy to build a USANA business. And for me, it's been very challenging. And I would say it's one of the hardest things that I have ever done in my entire life. I mean, I've climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. I've done, I used to be a runner, and I thought that was tough. And I thought having babies was tough, okay? This is a lot more challenging than having kids. I think many of you women can agree with me on that. And so Bryan and I, today we want to share with you a little bit about how we got started in the beginning and some of the challenges that we went through and how we overcame those challenges to get to the place that we are at today. And just like life is not always certain, as we all know, and the things that we've gone through to get us to where we're at today, challenges are not gonna stop.
No.
But we're more prepared for them than we were 20 years ago to handle things that we hadn't really been exposed to then.
Yeah. So I think some of the challenges we faced are very similar or the same as many of you. We face challenges around our health. I mean, just thinking about back then, I dealt with allergy issues that the products really helped with me, but just underlying, I had a horrible diet, and that had to do with our finances too. I remember regularly stopping off at a gas station and getting hot dogs, for lunch. I mean,
Yum.
Talk about not good for you. Or being able to stretch $3.22 for three items I wanted on the Wendy's value meal at the time, and that was a regular diet for me, or eating out of restaurants because I worked in restaurants so much, and so we both were like that. We didn't eat well. We didn't have a whole lot of time, and we were strapped financially. I had a job full-time during the day in sales at the time that USANA came into our life, and was moonlighting at night 4 nights a week waiting tables. And Monica even had a full-time job waiting tables at the time as well. And during that time, we were looking for I was looking for a network marketing company to join. I couldn't wait to find the ultimate opportunity, and then USANA came into our lives. But we faced a lot of challenges, and even in relationships, when you have goals and things that you're going for, it's important to be able to have time freedom to be able to spend time together as a relationship. And I know that was a real challenge in our situation as well, because we were always trying to put food on the table and make ends meet.
Yeah, and in the beginning for us, it was quite a bit about survival and finding USANA. In the beginning, it was so much about what Bryan just said, putting food on the table, surviving. And yes, we wanted to be diamond. Yes, we wanted to go on great vacations and have residual income. And we believed that was going to happen one day. But in our journey, in the midst of moving forward, it was tough. I remember Bryan used to handle our finances, and I remember being so scared to death that, oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to pay our car payment, or we're not going to be able to pay our cell phone bill, or what if we can't pay this, or what if we can't pay that. And I remember times going to the grocery store and being on a budget, and I'll just flat out say it sucks being on a budget going to the grocery store, because we couldn't buy all the food that we wanted that was the most healthiest. And also we lacked education at the time as well on what to choose, what was proper to choose to feed ourselves and Michael. Thank goodness he turned out great. And I know for me, as a woman and as a mother, that was very, very tough on me mentally and emotionally. And that was a very tough time in our life. And we know that a lot of people watching, that you've probably gone through something similar, because you joined USANA to be able to get out of the financial hardship that you are in or were in. And so we know what that's like. We know what it's like to have relationship challenges as well. Bryan and I we're a lot alike in some ways, but then again, we're also on the opposite spectrum of behavioral styles. And we lacked the proper type of skills in order to communicate properly with each other. And since then, I think we deserve a high five, because we've done really great in that area, because we've had to learn from going through that. Those were, without going into detail, but that was a very challenging time for us. So one of the things that I want to hit on too is something that I had suffered from that really attributed to a lot of anxiety and depression, was just having a lot of fear around, just a lot of fear in general around a lot of things, and especially around rejection. And what are people going to think of me? What are people going to say about our business? We had experienced so much rejection already with our friends and our family. I remember having family members laugh at us, and that was tough. The people that you love the most, that you've trusted your whole life, and they laugh in your face and tell you you're crazy, that you should go get a real job. And that was hard for me. That was hard because I value what my family says so much, that for them to say something like that to me really put a dent in my spirit. And so for me in the beginning, I know it was really, really hard for me to say anything about USANA because of that fear of being rejected, that fear of being ridiculed, and that fear of looking bad in front of people.
And we'd already talked to everybody in our family already with another network marketing opportunity before USANA. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I will say this. I remember, I'm going to say it anyways, because a lot of people already know this. So we used to wait tables at Papacitos, and I will tell you how broke we were. We were so broke that, even buying toilet paper, that was a challenge. And I know you guys are going to laugh, and it is funny, but that's where we were at. And I want to be very transparent with you guys, because our hope is that something that we say today resonates with you, and that it brings you hope. Because for me, what I have learned is when we share our stories, when we are authentic and transparent about what we've gone through, it really has the power to empower people and give people hope, knowing that, man, the Penrods went through that, Bryan went through this, Monica went through that, and I can overcome this. And your story is so powerful, and it's what helps you build your business. And so for us, I don't have a problem telling people that we used to be broke waiters on, in Texas, it's called the Lone Star card. But a lot of people know it as food stamps. I had to be on government assistance, and, I was ridiculed for that as well. And, so that was what's hard for me may not be what's hard for you guys. And so I've really had to learn not to compare hardships, because for me, it felt like I was in a prison with this fear of rejection that I had, that it took years for me to be able to get over a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And would you like to share anything around that?
Yeah, I had a lot of different anxieties and probably fears as well. The way that I dealt with those was, I actually didn't even really think about them. I couldn't afford to. My mindset was at a point in time where and as challenges became bigger, it made me focus stronger on my vision for the future, for what this business could provide, whether it be time freedom, health, and financial freedom. So I was really focused on those things, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I really found that focusing on solutions for me really served our business very, very well. And focusing, it drove me, having anxiety even just to be in front of somebody to present the business was a challenge. Fear of rejection of I remember talking to people on the phone, that was strong. But all of those things, definitely focusing on the vision that I had for becoming a diamond director in USANA and what that would all provide, and then beyond, was key for me. And I think it served us extremely well.
Yeah. And so, we've even survived going through a divorce. We know that many people have gone through the hardship of going through divorce, of having illness in your family, where people are no longer here anymore. I've had people come to me because they needed some coaching and mentoring around their kids. Their kids got into trouble. And so as we're pursuing our business, as life is happening all around us, and there's things that are out of our control. As much as us humans want to think that we're in control of life, the only thing we're in control of is our thoughts, and sometimes not even that, because a lot of times our thoughts are not our own. And but we do have the capability to be able to control a lot of that, of what's going on in our head, and our words and our behaviors, mm-hmm. our actions. And so life's gonna come at you. And for me, I just remember being so upset about all of these things that we were going through, the financial hardship, not being able to spend a lot of time with our baby at the time, having limited amount of time to be with the people that we cared about, health issues, the fear of, I had the fear of everything, anxiety, depression, and I'm supposed to go out and build a business. How are we supposed to build a business when all of these things, all of the odds are stacked against us? We live in a neighborhood that is, we'd go to bed at night sometimes, and I'd have to call 911 because we'd hear gunshots, and that's, it's funny now, we laugh about it now, but we weren't laughing about it then. No. And I know for me, I've had to learn to change what my focus was, because at the time I was such a negaholic about everything. Why do we have to spend this much money here on and I hate to say it, but in the beginning about USANA, why are we buying this in USANA? Why are we buying all these tools? Why do you have the need to go to convention? Why, why? This totally sucks. You're taking, money out of our bank account when we got to pay bills. And I'm like, oh my God, we've got, I think one time we had 30 something cents in our bank account, mm-hmm. something like that. And all of these things coming at us, and we know that a lot of people struggle with that type of, everybody's hardship is different. And so one of the things that we started to do was we started to shift our focus, because if all we ever do is focus on what we don't have, the rank that we don't have, the people that we don't have or haven't joined our business yet, the people in our business that aren't doing, what we're mentoring and coaching them to do. All the typical things and challenges that happen with owning your own USANA business. And then you add all the other life stuff in there, right, that we have to juggle and handle as well. And the biggest thing that changed for us was shifting our focus from, especially myself, from finding fault and complaining to shifting it to, okay, well, what are being solution oriented? What are the solutions in this area? And how can we grow? How can we move forward? How can we help more people? What needs to happen? Anything you want to share?
I like where you're going with this.
Okay, that's a good thing. And so for us, we got to a point where we really understood that we had to fortify our temple. We have to strengthen our mind. We have to strengthen our spirit. We have to strengthen our emotions. And you don't get strong mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually with being complacent and being comfortable in your life. That's right. It's just, it's not going to happen. It's like a muscle. When you work out a lot, you lift all those weights and do all that, heavy lifting, and your muscles, when you're wanting to grow your muscle and build more muscle, you have to place resistance on it, right? That's why we do weight training, resistance training. The only way that muscle grows is by training it. And you can't ever be courageous unless you actually go do something courageous. And you only get skillful at being courageous if you go and do it over and 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 over again. It's like with anything else. So resistance, going through challenges, going through, what we consider sometimes the burdens of life, that is good. That is what builds character. It's what makes you strong. It's what fortifies you in every area of your life, and it's what makes you a better business leader as well in our type of business,
or any business.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. In anything. The other thing that we got really good at was preparing. Always be preparing. You may not have a lot of things happening in your business right now because of challenges that you're going through. But in the midst of being challenged, it's still important that you're preparing, that you're attending events.
You're not in management mode preparing. You're in action mode preparing as well. That's kind of the way that I look at it, because we really recommend that as leaders, I'm sure throughout the company, that you're investing probably 70, 80, 90% of your time, just depending on where you're at in the business, on the positive things that produce in our businesses, like actually talking to people and following up with people, especially on Fridays like today, at the end of the week. So preparation definitely involves attending events and promoting the major steps in this business, but promoting, attending events. That might be international convention. And obviously today that also involves promoting USANA United USA and the posts that happen throughout the week. There's all kinds of team events going on, within the company all the time. And so planning and expect, training towards events. Also preparation means, what are you putting in your ears? What are you watching every day? How much time are you investing in your goals and speaking your goals and thinking about them and visualizing? So I think that has a little bit to do with preparation. Also with preparation, there's that saying that when the student is ready, the master appears, and that can come in many different ways in life. So when you keep preparing and keep preparing and keep preparing, and you're taking action, and as you're taking action, you're overcoming fears, it just makes you stronger. And as the heat maybe in that fire you talked about that we walk through gets stronger, it makes us better people.
Absolutely. And it's good to get burned. It's good to go through fire and get burned a little. Trust me, it's really, really good. And we've got to learn how to embrace that, embrace the challenge, embrace the hardship, and know that you're going to come out stronger on the other end, and life's going to be a lot more sweeter on the other end as well. And but thank goodness we didn't get too crispy. We didn't get burnt or too crispy to the point where when hardship happened, that we quit our business. And because we continue to pursue and prepare and focus on the right things, we have a residual income that pays us whether we work or not. So when we went through the separation and all the other things, we were still getting paid. I can't,
I want to say too, though, also that, and make sure everybody knows that even though we definitely dealt with all these challenges and things, building this business those first years was actually a total blast. And there was so much fun, so many good times and great memories too. So definitely have fun along the way as well.
Another thing we want to share is accountability and responsibility. So I know for me, it's been critical to be part of a mastermind group that I've been on for the last 10 years. And it includes Jennifer Douglas, Sherry Needham, Marcy Klemke, and Kathy Workman, and women that I have a lot of respect for, women that I consider are at a higher level of mastery than I am, which is very important when you're being held accountable and getting mentored and coached by people, that they're people that you respect and people that you consider better than yourself, and people that are going to hold you to the fire. I have been challenged quite a bit, and it does not feel good. Man, it does not feel good. But I can tell you, the biggest breakthroughs that I've had came from people challenging me and not allowing me to stay stuck in a story, like I'm not good enough, or nobody likes me, or I'll never be successful in this business. Whatever the story was, being surrounded by people that love you enough to tell you that your BS, you need to cut your BS off and pursue a different story and make some serious changes in your life. And I can tell you that accountability group has been my lifeline for the last 10 years. And it has been crucial in my overall development and also pursuing USANA, because I'll be totally frank, there have been times where things have gotten very tough for me, where I just wanted to say, screw it all, I'm not going to do this anymore, even after becoming a diamond director. And so, it happens. People, even at higher levels, get discouraged. I've been discouraged. And so having those types of relationships and mentoring and coaching in your life is crucial to your success, crucial to your business.
Yeah, the best growth times I know that I've ever had was in, whether it's been in business or personally, was through my having coaches like my upline or other good friends within the company, or maybe on the spiritual side, maybe could be from church or whatever you do in your community. So having accountability is super beneficial in so many ways.
And then on the other side of that is responsibility. I recently had a conversation with somebody a few days ago, and they were very upset because they showed up at a major USANA event and their experience wasn't exactly what they desired. I won't go into details. And because of their experience, they decided to step away from USANA. And my conversation with this person was, you can't wait for people to recognize you. You can't wait for people to, hold you up on a pedestal. You can't wait for people to, it's not other people's responsibility to make you feel special about who you are. You have to know that you're good enough, that you're special on your own, that you're absolutely outstanding and brilliant type person. And that has to come from within. And I've seen this happen a lot where people place blame on things outside of themselves, especially on other people. And so after having this conversation, this person decided that he was going to go ahead and pursue excellence in his business and continue on, despite him having had quite not a excellent experience. And all of that, we have to be driven from within, in my opinion, not just be driven by things outside of ourselves. And his lesson that he learned, that he shared with me, was that he took responsibility for his own experience at that event. It wasn't anybody else's fault, as he had been blaming people for the last year. And so we've got to step out of blame. We've got to step out of that. We've got to shift our focus from plain blame to taking responsibility in our business. And I think that's key, because that can be the turning point for a lot of people, because plain blame and not accepting responsibility for where we are at and why we're here and what got us here is going to keep us stuck. It'll keep us stuck, and we're not going to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I say we just skip to number 5. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah. I would like for you to share that.
Okay, so I think also a way to really move forward as well, because everybody goes through stuff, is a real simple term. It's called forgiveness. And I think that it's super important that whatever you have dealt with, whatever it is in your life, that you're able to just forgive yourself and move on, because why would you want to be held captive to that? Why wouldn't you not want to just forgive yourself so you can move on? It's a major move that I think brings big personal results.
Well, I would say that is true of, somebody
Forgiving others too.
Yes. No. Yes. Sorry, I'm like tongue-tied right now. I think that is key, because I've noticed in my own walk with the business, being so angry with myself or disappointed with myself because I felt like I didn't perform a certain way. Some people may laugh at this, but it kept me stuck. It kept me stuck from wanting to speak on stage. It kept me stuck from wanting to pursue people. It kept me stuck from reaching out to people, because I would beat myself up so much around my performance that because I stayed stuck in the story. That same story, see, I'm not good enough. And being able to shift, going back to shifting my focus, and also being able to forgive myself. So looking at those setbacks where that really put a dent in my spirit, being able to shift the focus on how could I become better, what can I do that's more effective, instead of focusing on what didn't work. And then also forgiving myself and saying, you know what, it's okay, Monica, forgive yourself for messing up. Even for messing up in regards to other relationships within our business, and being able to move past that. And I know it's been crucial for me, and I know for us, being able to move forward and continue to grow our business.
Yeah, it's healthy to manage your expectations with people. I like having high expectations for people and setting the bar, but at the same time, don't get too married to that expectation for that particular person. You can't really, they have to want this business, and they have to want the results for themselves. And so just generally be willing to forgive yourself too.
Yeah. No, forgiveness. And I've heard this at many business seminars over the last few years. And I'm talking multimillionaires have shared this from the stage, that it is so critical to the growth of your business to forgive yourself and to forgive other people. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck where you're at. Love. What's love got to do with it?
You wrote that up there, so you're going to talk about it.
I did put love, because and I'm not talking about the mushy, gushy, lovey-dovey kind of love. I'm talking about love as work in action. And I think that's critical. Another critical component of growing our businesses is really, truly loving people and showing up for them. Being a servant leader, serving people where they're at, and supporting them as best as we can to help them move forward in their businesses. So yeah, I think love for me is the foundation of everything. It's a foundation of all of my relationships. It's a foundation of our business, and it's not always easy. I mean, as easy as it sounds. I mean, I've stood on stage and have said this. I've heard other people say, "Oh, just do it out of love." Well, if I'm not forgiving, it's a little hard to do things out of love. But I think one of the key things for me, again, is being humble, having a spirit of humility, forgiveness, and love. And I've noticed a huge shift in myself and in our business just from being in that space of humility.
The golden rule comes in, treat people the way you'd like to be treated. Pretty simple.
And then the last thing we have up here is values. I've spent a lot of money on personal development, around $50,000. It's been a lot. And I only share that with you because for me, it was critical for me to be able to pursue different types of workshops and different types of coaches and mentors to help me move past a lot of my BS from the past to get to where I'm at today. And one of the most valuable things I learned at a Tony Robbins event was uncovering what my values were. And I want to share something with you guys, and I'm going to be very transparent about this. This was back in 2015, and my number one value was love, and my number one value is still love. And I've heard about values my whole life, but for some reason, in a business setting, they never really set in with me. I just never really understood them until I went through this program. And so I had to ask myself a question, and the question goes like this: Monica, in the past, what had to happen in order for you to experience love? So these were the rules that I came up with around how I experienced love in the past. I needed to be given gifts. I needed loyalty. I needed to be touched physically, quality of time, being playful, being told that I'm loved, and acts of service, having people do things for me. And I grew up in an environment where this happened a lot in my home. But the minute that I didn't get what I wanted, the minute that I didn't get a gift, the minute that I didn't get affection, the minute that I didn't get words of affirmation on how much I was loved, I would withdraw, because that to me was somebody telling me, hey, I don't love you. And I know now that was not true. So for me, this was huge because that's what kept me in bondage from building relationships in USANA. That was one of my biggest challenges, was connecting with, especially with women, connecting with other people. Because not only did I have a fear of rejection, but then I have these rules around what love looks like, and there was no way I was going to let myself get burned. And then when I didn't get what I wanted, I would withdraw and then say, see, people don't love me. And then that would only validate my belief system. And so my new rules around love are anytime I experience love, anytime I am focused on others, or anytime I am kind towards others, or anytime I remember the love of God that's in me and who my creator is, and anytime I see, anytime I connect, visually connect with others. And so that changed the way that I related to people. It changed the way that I connected with people. And so it's great to have, it's important. We all have value system. Every single one of us has a value and belief system. Where we're at today is a result of our values and beliefs. And my challenge to you today is to really uncover, where have you been operating from up until today? What have been your values up until today? And then how are you going to operate moving forward? Because it's not about what happened in your past. Bryan and I have overcome a lot, and coming out on the other end without completely demolishing ourselves or our children has been huge for us. But it's because of all of the work that we've done on ourselves and fortifying our temple, going through the fire, getting stronger, and taking that, all of that wisdom, all of that experience, all of that knowledge, and pushing and moving forward into our future. So my challenge for you is to uncover where you're at. Where have you been operating for the last 5 years up until now? And how do you want to operate? What values do you want to have? Because you can change those at any time that you want. And that's crucial because I know for me, values are the foundation of my life. They are the blueprint from which I do everything from. And anytime I step off the beaten, anytime I step away from my values, I always come back because I'm always reminded, okay, this doesn't feel good. What is it that I'm truly valuing? And then getting back on that path, getting back on that blueprint. And I'm reminded of what Jim Rohn said, that famous quote: "Don't wish that things were easier, wish that you were better." Things aren't going to get easier. Hello. They're just not. Things aren't going to get easier. But you can be better, and you can handle things a lot with more class, with more functionality, with more ease. But they're not going to get easier.
Agree with that. So, how about we do a giveaway?
Yeah, go for it.
Anybody like Rev 3? I know you do. Whoever wants a case of Rev 3, listen in, and you can even share this with people as well. But we have a challenge for you, and that is that for you to contact 3 prospects and 3 associates. So if you contact 3 prospects and 3 associates and ask them, what are your values? What are your top 3 values? That's what we want to know.
Yeah. I think a
How
lot
did
of...
you ask that? Or go ahead. Maybe how did you
Well,
ask that question?
first, I think a lot of times we're so focused on the end result that we forget to really connect with people. We're so focused on communicating what we desire the outcome to be that we forget to truly connect and be fully present. And for me, finding out what people really value is huge, because it's going to help you serve them better. If you'd like a tip, I would just reach out to people, either call them or send them a text and say, hey, I want to be able to serve you better where you're at. And I want to get to know who you really are. And for me to be able to do that, I would really like to understand, what are your top 3 values? What is it that you value most in your life? And for those of you who take this challenge on, we're gonna keep this feed open for the next till midnight tonight, and get back with us and type your comment in the comments below, and we'll put you in the drawing for winning a case of Rev 3. And please let us know how your experience went with asking people what their values are, because this is critical as you're trying to build rapport and build relationships with people. Is what do they really value? Because it's not about what you value, it's about what they value, and how you can connect the vision of USANA to what they value most. And that is key.
I enjoyed today.
I enjoyed today too, and I hope that something that we shared really struck a chord and gave you hope wherever you're at right now. That is our desire: is that what our story and what we've gone through, that it would truly give you hope, that you can really tap into that greatness that is within you to propel you forward. And anyways, we hope that you have an amazing weekend. Finish strong Friday.
Keep reaching out to people on your team and others in USANA, and let's grow USANA United just so big. Let's grow it massively big. And I'm looking forward to big things happening for you and this upcoming international convention coming very soon. See you there.
We're going to stay on just for another minute.
Okay.
Let me go. I'm going to go scroll through these and read them. Let me see if there's any questions.
What's up, Jared? Oh, how do you recommend we find a mastermind? That's a good question.
Okay. So this is what I did when I was wanting to start a mastermind. I had just came out of a Clemmer event called Advanced Leadership, and what I did was I prayed about it, and I asked certain people that I like I said, I have a lot of respect for, people that I felt that are better than myself, people that I knew would hold me accountable, but people that would really love me, that they would hold me accountable, but in a way that helped really encourage me, empower me, and support me with the spirit of love, not to hinder me, because motive is extremely important in this area. And so I reached out to 6 people no, 5 people. 4 of them stayed on. 1 decided not to stick with the mastermind. And so I think there's, depending on what it is that you're wanting to achieve, you need to choose, especially in the business, you need to choose somebody that's an expert at what they do, people that have already been there and have had success already in their business, people that you respect, and people that aren't going to be afraid to tell you the truth. That's because a lot of us want to be in accountability and in masterminds, but we really don't want that
Until
feeling
it gets
of
too hard.
Yeah. We say we want it, but we really don't, because we don't want to get that feeling of, oh my God, I got told the truth and got slapped around, and it doesn't feel good, but it's the best thing for you because it will make you so much better.
A man or woman up.
Yeah. So you've got to choose people that are really, really going to be open and honest with you and tell you the truth. And I would really ponder on what are those characteristics that you desire in those people that you desire to be in a mastermind.
It's only going to help you become that better version of yourself.
Yeah. And then I think the last thing that I want to say as we wrap up is going back to values. Be value driven. Don't just be driven by a goal. I've seen often too many times where people have a goal in this business and they don't reach that goal. They have this unmet expectation that they don't reach, that they don't have, and then they quit.
Well, we didn't reach our goals a whole lot more than we did reach our goals in our business, but we eventually made it.
That is true. But because we're value driven, the values are what drive our goals. So when we don't hit our goals, it's okay. We know why we're in this business. We know why we do what we do. We know the foundation. We know the blueprint, and we're here pursuing excellence. And we could have quit so many times, but we didn't. So stay value driven. Have an amazing weekend, and y'all take care.